Gamer said Star Citizen is going to be just like Starfield, mediocre at best. Big budgets and long development times don't make a good game, unfortunately. What the fuck is Tessa Carr smoking? Let's see, who is it? Tessa Carr, featured editor, 323 articles published since February 13th. How many fucking articles do you write in less than a year? There's not even that many in a day. What the fuck? Not even that many days. Like, what? She's gonna write more articles than there are days in the year. All right. Let's see. The highlights are Star Citizen story campaign. Squadron 42 is now feature complete. Over a decade of development and millions of dollars raised through crowdfunding. Okay, facts. Despite the long development time and lack of firm release dates, there are still many fans eagerly awaiting the game's launch, demonstrated enthusiasm of Citizen Content 953. Okay, true. The author is skeptical about Star Citizen's potential, drawing comparisons to the disappointing release of Starfield and expressing disappointment in the uninspiring gameplay showcase so far. What the fuck? So it's not her game? That's what I'm getting at. It's like she's just not interested in it. It's not her type of game. that's what that gets me. It's like she wants a No Man's Sky, not a Star Citizen. Okay, earlier this week, Star Citizen's developer Cloud Imperium Game announced that finally, over a decade after the game was announced and millions were raised for its creation, the story campaign Squadron 42 is feature complete. While there isn't a firm release window yet, CIG says that it is working towards a beta now, fully focused optimizing, fine-tuning. No, they're working towards release, not a beta. They're working towards finishing the game. Technically, right now, saying it's feature complete is saying it's in beta. It's out of alpha in beta. And they're working toward release. That's like, what? Now fully focused on optimizing and fine-tuning all aspects of the gameplay experience in unprecedented cinematic adventure. Yeah, it is an unprecedented cinematic adventure. Did you not look at that part? I didn't think we'd ever see the game get so far in the development process, and I'm not alone. Many thought it would never get made, with some straight up calling this a scam. Okay, so she's admitting that like she was already a doubter of Star Citizen before this even came up. So that's giving me high hopes for, or not high hopes for, where this is going. I don't think we'd ever see the game get so far in development. Okay, yeah, it's calling it a scam. That was made specifically to draw crowdfunding that would never be put to use. It would be pretty successful one if that turned out to be the case, considering the game has raised over $500 million from almost 5 million accounts. Its virtual spaceships are often the focus of criticism, as some of them cost hundreds of real-world dollars. Yes, but if you divide the over $500 million by the 5 million accounts, it still only averages out to $120 per account. So that's about everyone who has an account. That's about equivalent to everyone having like a digital deluxe like launch title, right? On average. Yeah, you got people who spend nothing, and then you got some people who spend thousands of dollars, but it all averages out to about, 120 per person, which isn't crazy whatsoever, especially for 5 million people. The fact that it's even fun, even able to operate off of that much money and get a engine completely built and get a single player game built and get work on a MMO that is going to be industry defining with its server meshing technology is, well, it's worth the 500 million, I'd say, at that point. Okay, despite its long development time and continuous lack of concrete launch dates, there are still those who are hyped. Well, we weren't hyped before CitizenCon, but now we're hyped again because it's just like it reaffirmed, like, hey, this is why we backed it, right? We backed it for these details, for this ambition, for the vision, and now the vision is being proved to be like, it's like a painter saying what they're going to paint and then finally actually seeing the painting, right? And you're seeing the painting almost come together, right? The queue to enter Star Citizen Con proved that against all odds, there are plenty of fans who are dying to get their hands on a playable version of this game. It's already playable right now. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, hello? Star Citizen launch game. Acknowledge that it's a pre-alpha and you can play the fucking game right now. What the fuck is this person on? Do they not know anything? Do they not do any research? Like, hello? The Citizen Con was hyped to play the next playable update that you can't play yet, that has a new system. That's what they were hyped about. Oh my god, this Star Citizen has been hyped as the ultimate space game. No, it has proven itself to be the ultimate space game. Buoyed by its huge cast celebrity of stars like Mark Hamill, Gary Oldman, Gillian Anderson, Andy Serkis, and John Rhys-Davies. Okay, for one, this whoever did this article is completely wrong. It's not Star Citizen who has the celebrity cast. It's Squadron 42 who has a celebrity cast. Squadron 42 is a single-player game, not Star Citizen. Star Citizen is the MMO where you create your own character and play amongst friends, not these celebrities. It shows how little detail whoever wrote this wanted to pay attention to when researching it. Just saying. But I'm well aware, but I'm sure we all remember the last time the world was hyped for the ultimate space game. After all, it was only released this past September, Starfield. It was not the ultimate space game. We all knew it was going to be Skyrim in space. What the heck? Starfield was criminally overhyped. Well, hey, look in the mirror, right? Look in the mirror. Who's overhyping it? The media. Who's a part of the media? The person who wrote this article. So, yeah. Hi, Digit. I'm ripping this article apart. How are you doing? All right. Okay. Starfield was criminally overhyped considering what eventually turned out to be a mediocre Bethesda-style RPG, lacking in interesting mechanics and feeling largely half-baked. Mediocre Bethesda-style RPG. How was it mediocre? Show me a better one that's not Baldur's Gate 3. Show me a better one that's not Baldur's Gate 3. Baldur's 3 doesn't count. Okay, that's a pinnacle right now. You can't get better than that. We all know Starfield's below Baldur's Gate 3, right? But show me a better...
HeyyItsNick. You have a new follower.
Thank you. But show me a less mediocre Bethesda... Show me a less mediocre Bethesda-style RPG game than Starfield. It'll probably be a lot, but like, show me a better one that's using Bethesda's style RPG that's in space. Like you're saying it's a mediocre one, then show a better one. Like, give me an example of a better one that we should be playing. Oh my god. Lacking interesting mechanics. Well, what mechanics did you want in it? What interesting mechanics did you want in it, right? Like, what mechanics are interesting to you in a space RPG? In Skyrim in space? What mechanics were you expecting? Like... Oh, whoever wrote this article. Oh my god. This isn't really the fault of the devs. It's just what happens when game takes an eternity to make and marketing cycles go wild for years on end. Well, you can say that with Starfield, but not so much with Squadron 42 and Star Citizen, because they haven't marketed anything outside of putting out trailers, right? Outside of putting out trailers for their newest patch, and advertising those. Like, I mean, and the whole thing is like, it's in alpha, it's in early access. You can just, you can get it or you can try it during your free flight. Like, what? A studio's idea a studio's ideas become outdated, somebody else does them better, or the rumor mill makes it sound like its concepts are better executed than they actually are. It abandons entire systems and reshapes the game as time goes on. A studio's idea becomes outdated. Somebody else does them better. Okay, show me anyone doing anything Squadron 42 or Star Citizen better. Seriously, show me like I think the only argument that we're unsure of is how the writing's going to be and how this actual story is going to be. But gameplay wise, we're playing it right now. Gameplay wise is going to feel good, right? Audio is going to be great. Outside of the writing, like, and to say somebody else to do them better, who the fuck is making a Squadron 42 game in space? Like, show me a better engine, show me better graphics, show me a better cast, show me better writing, show me everything like that. Like, this person is talking out of their ass, or the rumor mill's making them sound like concepts are better than executed than they actually are. We're literally playing the game right now in an alpha state. So literally no like valid argument there. It abandons entire systems and reshapes the game as time goes on. That's what. Do they know anything about the Star Citizen development? How many systems have they completely removed and reworked during the course of development that we have seen? So many. And even with like Squadron, even with like CitizenCon, they've shown like, you know, this complete systems being removed and rebuilt and re-overhauled for 2023 and for what is needed for the future. Like, this person has done zero research on this game. And comparing it to Starfield, among less, that's like, what? You're paying a mil sim space game to a space RPG, Skyrim in space type game. Oh my god. Okay, let's keep going. But I'm already telling this person is just like, first, never cared about Star Citizen to begin with, didn't want to do any actual research into Star Citizen, and doesn't care what anyone who actually backs Star Citizen thinks. Okay. No game or work in any artistic medium ever comes out exactly as planned. True. Money runs out. Time runs out. Let's see how, let's just check something. Let's just check something. I got it linked right here. Let's just see. Yeah, no, they made about 4 million every for the past 3 weeks. So yeah, they made about 16. We made about just under 16 million in the past 4 weeks. So I think their money isn't really going to ever run out, right? There's a continuous flow of money that the backers are giving them. So they would have to really fuck something up and for their money to run out, right? That's why it's crowdsourced, because so that Squadron 42 and Star Citizen can actually be like a Lovecraft and not a financial like tool to earn as many people as much return on investment as possible. Like, this is an artist's game, not a dev's game or a businessman's game. This isn't Starfield. It's not being rushed out. It's being worked on, and don't worry about the money because the backers are taking care of that. Things just don't work out as well as they should have and have to be reworked. Well, yeah, that already discussed that things are being reworked all the time when it's not considered fun and everything. The longer the development cycle, the more it have to change. The more likely it is that the final product isn't going to be what everyone hoped it would be. Okay, you know what's funny is that Star Citizen would have been Starfield exactly if it had stuck to what it originally set out to do. It would have cinematic landings, no procedural planets, none of that, right? So, and it would have come out a lot sooner, But I think seeing the Star Engine demo and Squadron 42 demo, you could say it was definitely worth the time to reinvest into more of this technology. And it's actually becoming a lot more of what the product set out to be. This is what happened with Starfield. You say that like you know. You say that like it's for certain. That's what happened with Starfield, when you're literally don't know. I love to see an interview you've had with anyone from Bethesda on this topic, to say like, yeah, it was rushed, things had to be reworked. Starfield, to me, like, none of this happened with Starfield. None of this happened to Starfield. Starfield was always set out to be Skyrim in space. And they stuck to that vision throughout the development time, and it was able to come out in its state it was. They didn't do what Star Citizen did and be like, oh, you know what would be good? No, what would look better? You know what would be better? Is if we did it this way. Or, hey, there's this tech I've been working on in my free time. We now have procedural planets. Oh, well, now we're going to have procedural planets. So Starfield didn't have that because it was very rigid and set in stone in its corporate ways. And honestly, none of this really only applies to Star Citizen and not Starfield. It's probably what's going to happen with Star Citizen. It's already happened with Star Citizen. So, like, pat yourself on the back, I guess. Like, whoop-de-doo. Okay, this isn't entirely speculation. Star Citizen's gameplay deep dive left me unimpressed. Okay, which one was Star Citizen's gameplay? Was Squadron 42? The single-player one? Because that was very basic and not the gameplay of Star Citizen. The first person and spaceship combat both look uninspired, with combat consistently mostly of spraying ammo and a swooping enemy ship. And the environmental puzzles similarly mostly physics-based and unoriginal. It just doesn't look special, and it doesn't look fun. That's your opinion. And it's a wrong opinion. Because they said it's going to be balanced to be fun. That's what the polish and everything is for it, so that it can be fun, right? So saying it doesn't look fun now isn't a fair representation of what the final product is going to be. You could say, okay, yeah, I just don't want Half-Life 2 physics puzzles, but like, until you play the actual finished project, saying it just isn't fun is just bogus talking out of your ass. You just don't like the project. You just don't want to support you just don't want to personally support Star Citizen, which is fine. Just be honest about it. Maybe I'm jaded by Starfield's poor showing after years of overpromises. What overpromises? They haven't overpromised anything. The only thing I'd say they overpromised is that you could explore these planets seamlessly. That's kind of what their only overpromise was. But they never said that you wouldn't be able to seamlessly fly between landing and space. They never said anything like that. Like what other promises did Starfield make that you like? It sounds like this person poorly manages their own expectations of Starfield very badly. Like, and is shitting on Star Citizen because they failed to manage their own expectations for another game. If Star Citizen's story is exciting as it's going to be, Squadron 42, oh my god. Squadron 42's story, not Star Citizen's. Squadron 42's story. Star Citizen is the MMO, not Squadron 42. How many, like, this person has zero respect for the project at all to even separate out Squadron 42 and Star Citizen. Like, and they're the article, they're the writer for The Gamer that has, again, written 323 articles. I think she is jaded because she just hasn't managed her own expectations. It's hilarious to see this. Oh my god. Okay, anyway, Squadron 42. If Squadron 42's story is as exciting as it claims to be, I'll be sold. Especially since I tend to gravitate to strongly written narratives over combat. Well, it should have. I've seen the Wing Commander movies. They're pretty cringe, so I wouldn't expect that either. But I think it should be at least entertaining. but nothing we've ever seen or heard so far indicates that it will be mind-blowing. Well, why would they want to spoil anything? They just don't want to spoil anything. So you're just like, well, they haven't shown anything that's like sportily mind-blowing stuff, except, you know. So I'm not going to have my mind blown. It's like, dude, they're probably holding that stuff close to their chest so they don't spoil it. Like, it's a single player game. Considering most of the cinematics have been typical war stuff. That's literally what Squadron 42 is about. You literally join Squadron 42 and are in war. No wonder it's about typical war stuff. Oh my god. I think it's just going to be another war game, but it's... Oh my god. Okay, you know what? It's a shame, but throwing $500 million at a problem can't always fix it. See, I think it's her problem, not the game's problem. The game's just not for her, and that's not a $500 billion problem. That's a you problem, and no one cares at the company if that's the way you feel about war games. If you don't want another war game, then don't fucking play it. Why are you even writing articles up on it if you don't like war games? Like, hello? Like, how about we actually have someone who likes Call of Duty or like, you know, Modern Warfare or Fortnite for even. This person clearly doesn't want to write about war games, so why freaking have her write about war games? Like, what the fuck? She can't even criticize it fairly and give it an actual, can't even separate Star Citizen and Squadron 42. Like, what the fuck? Let's have this person who doesn't give a shit about war games. Let's have them write out an article about war games. I don't like war games. This game sucks. Oh, no wonder you're gonna say it sucks. You don't fucking like it to begin with. A shitty, biased article by a probably more shitty person. That's what I'm gonna say. They're definitely not someone I would get along with. So I don't care if they see this or not. But that's how I feel about that. Anyways, that's gonna be it for me. Oh yeah, look, Star Citizen. You can play it right now. I'll go quit the game.